Hi, it's me, your nosy neighbor lady. This is your nosy neighbor lady show. We talk a little bit about a lot of shit. If you're new, welcome. If you're returning, always good to see you. Today, what are we talking about? Dun, dun, dun. We are talking about should black women have children, and my experiences as a single poor black mother, who know what it's like for a father not to be around, who knows what it's like to not feel good enough, or to feel like if you had done this, this would be this, or and then also being a single mother with children who are by different dads. I always rationalize to myself that even though I have different kids' fathers, I didn't stick around with one that wasn't working. I knew people who had 7 kids by one man and he didn't do nothing for none of the kids. All I could do is what I saw. My mom did have different, dads for us. And it wasn't all that half brother, half sister stuff that people say now, like them my real brothers and sisters or my whole brothers and sisters. But I find that oftentimes divide people and families and between siblings and stuff, but that never divided us. But my mom was smarter than I was, and I feel like she really didn't give me the tools to know what type of man to want, or well, she did always tell me to get something and go on dates and get your gifts and things, but I felt like she didn't sit down with me and talk to me about sex. She didn't talk to me about relationships. She didn't model relationships because she didn't have a man, and she was not the type to bring many different men over us and in our homes and things. So I didn't have an example of a good relationship, nor did I have an example of a bad relationship. So I was just kind of thrust into the world to figure it all out on my own. And just, should black women have black males or black kids? Or the abortion argument, I did have an abortion by a guy that I'm really glad I'm still glad I had an abortion by this guy, because I could not imagine having him and his family in my life right now. And he was a heroin addict, actually. But that was many years ago. But, I be honest, I try to be transparent just to give information and to share knowledge, and to say that it's easy to judge and to look upon other people's lives on the internet, because we have the World Wide Web, and it's like, oh, y'all so stupid for having kids. Y'all so... All my kids, I had them. There were no questions about abortions until one day there was. So... abortions, I'm not against abortions. I think that's a personal choice, and women should do what they need to do. But in the long term, when you have a lot of abortions, when you are ready to have a baby, you might not be able to carry that baby. Your uterus might not be strong enough. Different health conditions come with that. Not all the time, but this is just, cautionary tale for women who feel like, oh, I should just keep having sex with black men and keep getting abortions. Abortions are expensive. And to me, I do feel like it took a piece of me. I do feel like I forgave myself, and I know what I did at the time was the best thing for me at the time and that relationship. But it's so easy for us to look on other people's lives and say what they should do or what they should not do. We didn't have the internet. We didn't have conversations. We didn't have deep conversations. That's why it's videos on YouTube telling women how to wash their vaginas, because people have not had conversations with their daughters about that. My mom talked to me about that, fortunately. So, but black women and the black community is this hush-hush culture. Snitches get stitches. What go on in this house, stay in this house. Don't tell people all your business. Only answer them what they ask you. Don't volunteer no information. So I'm really happy that a lot of black women are sharing their stories and are being honest with younger black girls. And it's okay to look at a woman and say, oh, I don't want to be like that. It's okay to, even me, somebody could look at me, oh, I don't want to have kids by different fathers. Nothing wrong with that. If you have a standard for your life, nothing wrong with that. Don't let people make you feel bad about that, because I found that when I got my tubes tied, people like, oh, I would have never did that. Oh, that's so dumb. And all I could think was, it's so dumb for me to keep having babies and I can't afford them. That's what's so dumb to me. But the people call me stupid and that my vagina wouldn't be the same and that I'm this or that. All my products still working well. Well and swell. But I feel like if you are a young woman and you're trying to live and have a better life, you should wait to have children. And if you do have children, I don't think that you should have black men's children because they don't have any money. And he's being like my mom, she got child support. She got good child support. Me, I wish I would have chose better. But even with the channel saying that black men or derelicts and black men are making everybody single moms, I don't feel as much like it was my fault and more like I was a victim. Because the guys who I did have children by were older. One, we was genuinely in love. Well, I had relationships with all of them. But even one of my kids' dads told me, hey, I just knew I wanted to have you in my life for the rest of my life. And it really backfired because he has not seen his kid since he was 2 years old because I did not sign up for that. He had previous baby moms. Actually, my son is like the 8th kid. And they're like, why would you have kids by a man with this many kids? For one, I didn't know about all these kids back then, okay? People love to look and act like everybody know everything. No. I didn't know I was dealing with a dick slanger and a serial baby maker. Did not know. But I did know that his first 2 baby moms were really best friends and they would fight and they were cool and all. And once I seen all that, but see, when you're young and stupid and you don't have anywhere to go and someone is housing you and feeding you and clothing you, you're signing up for something that you're a victim of your circumstances. I was on my own. I left my mom's house when I was 18 and I went to Ohio to live with my kid's dad and just a whole bunch of stuff. But this video is so hard because I'm being transparent. If you want to share this journey with me, share my video, or if you want to like it, or if you don't like it, share that. Also, leave a comment. But should black women have kids to be broke? I'm struggling. When my kids were younger, it seemed easier or it was easier, but I had to sacrifice a lot of things. But I always went to work and I always went to school, and my kids is what made me want to be better and live a better life. I'm not saying people should have kids so I'm to be able to live a better life, but I know that's my story, and I went on to work with children and love working with children. Just not there right now. But I feel like people who don't have kids, you're more free to do you, and you don't have to think about, oh, I have somebody to come home to. But that's a thought that kept me secure and on the right track. When I knew that somebody else was waiting on me and depending on me, that affected a lot of my decisions, and I'm thankful for it because I know a lot of people who don't have that ground, that balance. Oh yeah, kids will never make a man stay. I just cannot believe that in 2022 people still think that babies make men stay. If anything, they make them leave faster. But I know a lot of girls who don't have kids and they're with men who have cheated on them for ever, and it just baffles me. But relationships in the black community are just really tragic, just period. We don't know how to love each other. We don't have no structure. We don't have no leadership or guidance as far as males. I didn't know better. Black women just really didn't talk. Black women would go through things in silence and suffer in silence because we're often blamed and ashamed when we are raped or molested. And actually they say light-skinned girls are actually more likely to be raped by multiple offenders. All I heard when I was young was don't get pregnant. But I just feel like if you want to have babies, have them with somebody with some money. It's just stupid to have them for love. My kids are made out of love, and I'm glad, but ain't no money. I'm broke. They daddy broke. It's like, it's the money for me. Like, if you do want kids one day, you got to get some money. That's basically, I got all these cards because I was trying to gather my thoughts, and I really couldn't because this is very touchy, and sex is not love. And love is not sex. Love is doing for you, being there for you. When you need your tire changed, I'm here. When you're hungry at your lunch break, I'm going to bring it. Love is acts of service. Anybody can say they love you. I love you. But I'm not sending you no money. Unless I owe you, or I might. I send you $2. I do be having $2 on dick sometimes. But even talking about sex and abortion and being promiscuous and being labeled as a woman, or not giving it up fast enough, or giving it up to never, ever, ever, and virginity, and this conversation is so much bigger than my mind. But I know that if you're a young black woman and you want to have kids, have them with somebody with some money. People online talking about marriage and this. Black people don't get fucking married. They're fucking lying. And half of them, like they say, you don't find out they not married till you see special friend at the funeral. You know, there are so many brothers molesting sisters, and dads molesting daughters, and uncles molesting everybody kids, and cousins violating other cousins, that we cannot act like when you are a victim of molestation or rape, you act that out in your sexual endeavors for the rest of your life unless you heal. Those relationships that we form in our pivotal or coming up years, or in relation to sex, love, and relationships, we often repeat those cycles. We often duplicate how that looked at that time unconsciously. Now we have black women who are educated. So when you are educated and went to school, you can look at things more objectively. When you don't have education, that's why they say when we know better, we do better. I don't want to come on here and act like I'm perfect. I don't want to come on here and act like I know everything. Because you don't know until you don't know. You don't know what you do not know until you know. I would never advise a woman being a single mother with different dads to have kids. To be honest, not even gonna lie. If you are gonna have kids by different dads, that's different checks. If I was getting some money. That's the only thing I feel like I was too much of a sucker for love. Because I am a lover, and that's why I know I'll love again, and I'll find somebody to love again, but I know that he won't be a black man without the information I'm getting. And I done had my fair share of black men to see what they do, and that these women are not lying or misleading anyone. Just have a baby by somebody. Matter of fact, I knew somebody, a girl, her guy died in like a shooting, a violent death, and she could not get any Social Security because her father had never worked. The kid father had never worked. Then another thing people don't tell y'all is if you have a child and he's on child support and the father dies, you get Social Security if he worked. I don't know what this ego thing is where black women don't want to put men on child support. I think it's because they think they coming back. Or I think it's because they ashamed to say really they don't know. But I think women think that these men are coming back. Or black women are so stupidly loyal. Because I know a lot of women who are like, I'm not putting him on child support. And I'm just like, if he's not in your child's life and he's not giving you anything or your child anything, why wouldn't you? And excuse me, I don't have COVID. I got allergies. But even thinking about how women will go into somebody's houses and have sex in this woman's house with her son, and then the girl will get pregnant and the mom is screaming louder than the son that that's not his baby. It's just so much I'm trying to read, but it's just like it don't make sense to me how this coming together. But lives have been destroyed. Kids' self-esteem and just wondering where my daddy is. And I talk to my kids, so we talk pretty open and honest, but I could only imagine how some of those questions might hit like a ton of bricks. I kind of hit the questions before they hit me. But don't have kids by no black man. Are you gonna find out that he have all these kids later? Are you gonna find out you're just a string of women that he have kids by? Another one, or marriage don't make nobody treat you right. Sex don't make nobody treat you right. And babies don't make nobody treat you right. I'm gonna play back this video and see how it sounds. It may come out, it may not, because it just feels very jumbled and all over the place. But at the root of the issue, should black women have babies? Why did black women have babies? But we really didn't know better. And then when you're in a relationship and you're doing it every day and people are not having money to go get birth control pills, and then emotions are coming into play. People can always say what people should do in a situation until they're in a situation. I know that I got pregnant after my abortion, and I know that I was extremely fertile, and I was stupid because I didn't get on a form of birth control. But I feel like that was destined for my life because he wanted that baby, and that baby actually brings a lot of joy and balance to our home, because my other kids, he actually brings a lot of joy. He's very like funny and goofy, and just a happiness and a light that we needed in our family. I can say that because my daughter is pretty meek and mild mannered, and my other kids are just pretty like mild mannered and low key, but he's like, and sometimes that's kind of refreshing. But I think having children are beautiful if you want them, but in this world, if I had a choice to do it all over again, I would do it all the same way though. But I couldn't see my life being different. I don't feel like I would have did this or got this done or stayed in school or been or this or been or that. Some people say, I would have been this if I had kids. I would have been that if I had kids. I think I would have been a fucking junkie, or either somebody with some money who was a bitch and didn't have no friends and didn't like nobody and didn't like herself and like jump off a roof because really I got some money but I hate my life. Or I would have just been a junkie. Because growing up in the neighborhood with drugs everywhere and party and lifestyle, even me, that was kind of my vice, partying. I just like to party. I just always like to party. Have a good time, but I would wake up and go to school. I would wake up and go to work, but I think that life would have gotten me sucked in, because it's not just the party, it's what you're around in the party and what the party life does and how you're on a natural high where you don't want to come down. So I hope this video helps somebody. I hope it makes sense. I'm gonna play it back and see if it's coming to a video camera near you. So thank you for having this conversation with me. Please put your thoughts at the bottom. Please help a young girl make a decision. I can say I know women who didn't have children and were able to travel and do X, Y, Z. And I knew women who had children who did better than me and had better lives than me, and I know some had them who had worse lives than me. But I've never been the type to be like, oh, they life this or they life that. We all make choices. I've seen people have 15 kids and do all kind of stuff, and people have one kid and they take them down. So you guys just, you still got to figure out what's best for you. But if you don't take nothing, have a baby by somebody with some money. Don't be no broke baby mama. Get the child support. I don't know why women don't go get child support. I think they really think these men are coming back. Or they too stupid with pride. Is it pride? That's a good question for the comments. Why don't women pursue child support for men who never coming back? That's all I got.